It's the end of an era. I'm talking about the era of Chuck Bunch, the bankable CEO of PPG, who's seen his stock triple since he took over in March of 2005. Here's a guy who not only steered PPG through the Great Recession, he also transformed it from a diversified glass, chemicals, specialty materials, and coatings company with a lot of commodity exposure into a far more proprietary business focused on all sorts of much more difficult to knock off coatings and paints with a lot of long-term relationships. All the big chemical companies that have been trying to move away from the commodity side of the business, think DuPont or Dow, are following the Chuck Bunch playbook. So it was a real blow, I have to admit, when the company reported 2 weeks ago and Chuck Bunch announced that he's retiring. Fortunately, that same day, PPG reported a pretty solid quarter, including a 3-cent earnings beat off of a $1.64 basis. Revenues that came in okay, up 0.4%. But on a constant currency basis would have been great. The results were good, but they also came on a day of disappointment for a competitor, Sherwin-Williams. And that, plus the surprising announcement of Chuck's retirement, did knock the stock down, I thought, far more than it should have been. Now, for years, I've been adamant that anytime you get this kind of pullback in PPG, you have to be a buyer, because the stock has always resumed its long march higher. This time, I don't know. The company's bankable CEO is leaving, but I think it's still right to buy. Let's check in with the fabulous Chuck Bunch, the phenomenal chairman CEO of PPG Industries, who's made our viewers fortunes over the years. Hear what he has to say about where his company is headed, possibly for the last time. Chuck, welcome back to Mad Money.
Oh, thanks, Jim. It's always great to be here.
Now, I know in the conference call, your successor said, no, Chuck's still going to be here. But is this our last one, do you think, between you and me?
Well, it may be our last time on Mad Money, but I'm going to stay actively involved in the company. I'm going to be involved in strategy development, our acquisition strategy, and most importantly, our organic growth strategy. That's where we need, I think, to continue to improve in this challenging external environment.
All right, let's talk about the organic growth, because I went through an amazing presentation. You now, I think, stole a Mexican company. I mean, you got a Mexican company that is just amazing. And I want to talk about what's going on in Mexico and what PPG is doing. You are not a house paint company in Mexico. You're maybe the ultimate industrial supplier of paint. Walk our viewers through what this acquisition really did for PPG.
Well, PPG's legacy business in Mexico was a very strong automotive OEM and big industrial coatings player. Great positions. We did not have, however, a position in the architectural coatings market. That's been a strong driver in Mexico with their growth rates, both in GDP and in population growth. So the opportunity for PPG to pick up the market leader in Mexico, great growth rates at what we felt was a good price last year, and we've continued to see this momentum build at Comex in Mexico. Strong growth rates since the acquisition last November. You saw it again in the second quarter, high single-digit growth rates. And I'm really impressed with the organization, their leadership, and this entrepreneurial base of customers that they have down there.
Can this make up for what I know you are concerned about in the July 16 conference call, which is that there's a bit of a volume of growth slowing going on in China now that I know you're attuned to, and there's an automobile slowing we know from just last night when Audi told us that things are not so strong there?
Right. We've enjoyed excellent growth in China and especially in the automotive OEM business. Our first quarter this year was excellent, and the second quarter was also very good. We saw some slowing in the market, especially there in the last month or so of the second quarter. And so I would say growth rates now, we were looking for automotive OEM growth rates of the 6 to 7% this year. It's probably now going to be for the year 3 to 4% growth, so a little bit of a downshift. But PPG, we are expecting growth in automotive OEM in China in the third and fourth quarters. So we feel still optimistic about our position. We're the leader there in that market. And we think that the market will stabilize and continue growth, but maybe not at this elevated pace that we saw last year and the beginning of this year.
Well, as long as we get some growth there, a lot of people think there will be no growth. There is, I don't think that's true. One of the slides in your tremendous pack on Comex was PPG, a leading architectural coatings company. You mentioned that you'll still be involved with acquisitions. I was surprised to see that there are still thousands of small niche regionals and leading regionals, 14 of them, that would be potential candidates to be bought by PPG?
Yes, the coatings market is still fragmented globally. About half the market is outside the hands of the top 10 players. So there's still a long-term consolidation story here. We think we're well positioned. We made 2 acquisitions, including one in Central America, one in France in the second quarter. We closed one here at the beginning of the month of July in aerospace coatings. We've got 2 more that we've announced that we're advancing. So we think there's still plenty of opportunities to make further acquisitions. We're well positioned, and we think this is a long-term growth story for PPG, and we need now to continue to supplement that with organic growth.
But last question, it also seems you're still going out there buying back stock, and the dividend remains a priority for all the people who own the shares.
Yes, we bumped the dividend 7% in last quarter, and we're committed. We are a dividend aristocrat. We're committed to building on that dividend. But also this year, we've already purchased $350 million of PPG stock, and we intend to continue those share buybacks as we go through this year and into next year. We have a long-term commitment to return cash to our shareholders and combine that with our dividends, organic capital spending, and acquisitions. We think we have a very balanced playbook for continued growth in both top and bottom lines.
Well, Chuck, you've done a remarkable job transforming this company well ahead of all the other industrials, actually, that I deal with. Want to wish you the best of luck. Hope you'll still come by. And congratulations on a great quarter. Chuck Bunch, outgoing CEO of PPG. Good to see you, sir.
Thank you very much, Jim. It's been great to be part of this.
Chuck's made people a lot of money. There's absolutely no reason for me to believe that he would ever leave the company in the hands of someone who wouldn't continue, but you see he's staying too. PPG is just terrific. Stay with Cramer. Booyah! Jim Cramer here from Mad Money. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube. Click here to subscribe and get the jump on my exclusives with CEOs, plus market news, investing advice, and a whole lot more.